what's new from Hollywood and the likes about your favorite movies and series? Well, quite a bit. The creators of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse talked about an alternative ending, a new image from Star Wars Ahsoka raises a lot of questions, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is getting his own Fast and Furious movie. Plus, there are changes to Captain America 4 and updates on Zack Snyder's new movie, Rebel Moon. Last but certainly not least, Wednesday Season 2 is expected to get way more intense. Stay tuned for the details. Star Wars fans are currently eagerly awaiting the new Ahsoka series. The cult figure is one of the most popular characters in the franchise, and the first trailer also made massive waves some time ago. A new image now raises big questions, because some things don't quite add up. The so-called Inquisitors are feared former Jedi who hunted down the remaining Jedi after Order 66. We could already see them doing their sinister work in the series Rebels, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the video game Jedi Fallen Order. One of their distinctive features are their red lightsabers. In an exclusive image from Empire magazine for the Ahsoka series, we now see precisely that kind of saber, wielded by a person in dark armor. There's just one issue. Ahsoka actually takes place, like The Mandalorian, after Episode 6, so after the downfall of the Empire, and various stories have shown that the Inquisitors should have been long gone by then. What exactly this is all about will hopefully be answered in detail in the new Star Wars series. Either way, the new images make us want to see more. Rosario Dawson was already convincing in the role of Ahsoka Tano with her performances in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. We can't wait to see the appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn and where this series will rank in terms of quality among the many Star Wars series. Ahsoka will be released on Disney Plus on August 23, 2023. Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's latest project, will be coming to Netflix later this year. This week, there are several pieces of news, including new images and information about the release, because according to the director, it will not stop at one movie. The story plans for Rebel Moon look ambitious so far. Somewhere in the almost infinitely large universe exists a moon on which a peaceful colony lives. The focus is on the warrior Korra, who wants to protect the moon from the encroachments of the ruthless tyrant Balisarius at all costs. She therefore wants to solicit for support in the whole galaxy and gather the very best warriors for this purpose. You can get a first impression from newly released images that show most of the cast around leading actress Sofia Boutella. Director and co-writer Zack Snyder also revealed a few new details about the movie. It was originally planned as a 3-hour single film, but was then split into 2 shorter ones. The explanation is that movies do particularly well on Netflix when they run under 2 hours, and Snyder's vision could not be limited to one shorter film. In addition, Snyder announced that he is planning 2 cut versions of Rebel Moon, including a longer director's cut. This one is probably more intended for adults, and as we know since Justice League, the Snyder cut is sometimes even better than the original. We are looking forward to more information and can't wait for the streaming release of Rebel Moon, which is scheduled for December 22, 2023 on Netflix. Should the movie be well received by fans, it's likely that Snyder will create an entire film universe around Rebel Moon in the coming years. In less than a year, Marvel's Captain America 4 will hit theaters. Marvel Studios now came forward on social media and not only presented a new image, but also announced that the adventure gets a new name, meaning the previous title, Captain America New World Order, will be replaced. The new official title is therefore Captain America Brave New World. Currently, we can only speculate about the reasons for the renaming. Both titles are also well-known terms outside the movie series. While New World Order is repeatedly used in conspiracy theories, Brave New World is the name of a famous dystopian novel by Aldous Huxley. Either way, both names suggest a plot that will probably involve nothing less than the complete reshaping of society, if only the captain didn't have a little say in the matter. Since the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the hero has been played by Anthony Mackie, thus succeeding Chris Evans. A new image from the Captain America 4 set now shows Mackie together with Harrison Ford, who takes over the role of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross from the late William Hurt. Ross, meanwhile, is the President of the United States. Liv Tyler and Tim Blake Nelson are also part of the cast, reprising the roles of Betty Ross and Samuel Stearns from The Incredible Hulk. The movie is directed by Julius Ona, who previously worked on The Cloverfield Paradox, for example. The screenplay was penned by Malcolm Spellman, who was also in charge of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Captain America 4 Brave New World will hit theaters on May 3, 2024. It recently became known that various spin-off projects for the Fast and Furious franchise are in development, and now we got the first details. One of the biggest stars of the series is not only coming back, but is also getting a standalone film. We're talking about Dwayne Johnson, alias Luke Hobbs. After months of back and forth, we finally learned that he is back for Fast and Furious 11, and things keep moving as the wrap could exclusively bring to light. Universal is developing an entire film around Johnson's character. The movie is to link the current part of the Fast series with its sequel. Thus, it is explicitly not a continuation of the old spin-off Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw from 2019, even if the same screenwriter, Chris Morgan, is involved. The Rock also announced the movie with big words on Twitter. He had settled the dispute with Vin Diesel last summer, and he added that he was overwhelmed by the positive response to Fast X, and that the audience always comes first for him. There is no release date for the Fast and Furious Luke Hobbs solo movie yet, but if it is to hit theaters before Fast and Furious 11, production should get started soon. We will keep you up to date, as always. At the age of 20, Jenna Ortega can already point to a remarkable filmography. After her feature film debut in 2013 in Iron Man 3, she appeared mostly in horror flicks such as Insidious 2, Scream 5, and Scream 6. This week, however, Ortega spoke less about her movie appearances, but more about Wednesday Season 2, which is set to be a lot creepier than before, according to her. Overall, Wednesday is the most successful Netflix series ever after Squid Game and Stranger Things, so it's not surprising that those responsible are eagerly awaiting the next season, in which Wednesday's story will continue to unfold. In Season 1, we get our first glimpse of Wednesday's life at Nevermore Academy. The teenager had to bring her everyday problems, including romantic relationships, in line with her supernatural abilities. In the podcast Armchair Expert, she recently revealed that the time of romantic love stories will fade into the background, and instead, they will fill this gap with more daring horror elements. Ortega will also have more say in the second season, whereas she has so far only been the leading actress. The 20-year-old is now also attempting to work as a producer and is thus taking on significantly more responsibility. She had previously shown the motivation to have more say in shaping the script, which ultimately got her into trouble with some of those in charge, including director Tim Burton. We are excited to see how the new horror elements in Season 2 will be perceived by the fans and look forward to the series release on Netflix, which is expected in 2024. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is making more than just animation fans' hearts beat faster in theaters right now. The sequel to Into the Spider-Verse is thrilling audiences around the world, but now there is information regarding the ending of the movie, which will certainly disappoint some fans. First of all, this news contains spoilers about Across the Spider-Verse, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, head to the cinema, enjoy one of the highlights of 2023, and then come back to this news. Alright, are you ready? So, here are the details on what should have happened at the end of the new Spider-Man movie. As IndieWire learned from talking to producer Phil Lord, there's a good reason why Across the Spider-Verse doesn't have a post-credit scene. Nothing really fit that could have happened after the actual conclusion of the film. There was even a pretty elaborate plan already. In a cutscene of the movie, Spot hangs out in a villain bar and can't get a drink because everyone is ignoring him. He eventually steals a drink, but it just flows back out of his holes as he drinks. The scene was meant to emphasize that, among the bad guys, Spot is a loser. In the intended post-credit scene, Spot returns to the same bar, but this time he is the center of attention, proudly sitting in the best seat, and all the other villains are subordinate to him. Alan Hawking, the head of character animation, loved this idea. A guy everyone makes fun of returns and is now the boss. But unfortunately, this final scene only works if there's also the first scene, and that didn't make it into the movie. That's why Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has to do without a post-credit scene. This does not harm the success of the movie about Miles Morales and the other Spider-People, however. The film has already had the second most successful opening in cinemas in 2023 and has received excellent reviews. This obviously whets the appetite for more. The third part, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, will be released on March 29, 2024, and other projects such as Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 4, and a Miles Morales live-action Spider-Man movie are also in the works. Want to know more about what you can expect in the future? Then take a look at our new series preview about Daredevil Born Again, where we talk about all the important aspects surrounding the Marvel series that is set for release in 2024. And should there be any news that didn't make it into our video that got you excited this week, make sure to share it with the others in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next week for more KinoCheck news.